I wanted to sit down real quick and talk to you about these right here, the Bellows Gill. Got him. That's what I'm talking about. Right there. I have two different colorways that I've been throwing around. This one is really cool. It's like a green pumpkin with that muddy bottom. So it's called the Muddy Gill. And then this one, I'll throw the name on the screen. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it is like that pink color right there that you have seen me post about catching some big pike on. So these baits are awesome. They imitate bluegill bait fish and they just have a ton of action because of those ribs in the bait. So I want to run down real quick how I use them. This one I just caught a good largemouth bass on. He actually chomped that tail off and bit it off on the first strike, and then I threw it back in there and was able to land him. But I use an 8/0 beast hook on this, owner beast right there, and that's a 3/8 ounce weight on the bottom, and you just put the screw lock into the end right there and screw it down. And then after you do that, find where that hook's gonna poke through. It's real easy with these ribs on these baits. So just find that specific rib where it's gonna poke it through, come straight out the other side, and it just lays on the top there. You can also poke it through some of these ribs if you want to make it a little bit more weedless, but it also works great just like this. So with this, with bass, what I do is I cast it out there and then it will slowly fall to the bottom like this, nice and flat, because that weight is on there, pulling it down to the bottom. And then once it gets down there, you can either do a drag and reel up your slack, drag and reel it up, and it will just kind of pull across the bottom almost like this, just bouncing on the bottom there. Or you can pop it like a traditional style jig or Texas rig, pop it up and it comes back down, pop it up and it will come back down. Now, that's what I do for bass. Either one of those retrieves. You can also swim these on these hooks like this because this weight will keep that belly side down, whatever side you want. I usually put the lighter color on the bottom because when fish are looking up at the bait, they see those white bellies, that's what they see. So lighter color on the bottom always imitates those bait fish. But what I do is I also swim it and it will just slowly swim through the water with a nice little wiggle with all of these ribs. So it sends off those good vibrations to those predator fish. They feel it in that lateral line and they can pick up on where the bait is. If you're in a little dirtier water, these are awesome. If you're in that lighter water, these are awesome as well because they are going to give off as much as you work them. So if you really twitch them around, obviously they're gonna displace more water and draw in more fish with higher vibrations. But if you want a more subtle action in clearer water, you just let it do its own thing and it will slowly come down and just give off enough action to give those fish something to key in on. So moving over to the pike, rig it the same way. Now what I do when I fish for big pike deep is I take a tungsten weight, and I will show that on the screen here, and I put it on the end just like you're doing a traditional style Texas rig. I use a 3/4 ounce or a 1 ounce Strike King tungsten flipping weight there on the front. I do not peg it. I leave it free. So that way it's gonna pull that line down. And then I also use the same weight here on this same exact hook. And what I do is I cast it down. That tungsten weight will pull that bait down or that line down faster. So this bait will almost swim down while keeping this weighted side down on the bottom, so it won't roll over at all with too much weight pulling it down, and it will just pull it down and slowly swim down to the bottom. What I also like to do is pike They like a ton of movement. So sometimes just swimming this will be enough, but if you're fishing for pike, there's two things they like. They like super fast movement, reel it as quick as you can with most lures, and they will chase after it. They're so fast. You'll never be able to reel fast enough to get away from a pike. I promise you. They are like a bullet in the water. So either reeling super fast, but with this bait, you can't reel super fast. So your other option for quick twitchy movements is to just pop your rod. So as this is coming down, it's doing its own thing, but I'm also popping my rod. So this thing is twitching like crazy in the water as it's coming down. Good one, good one, good one. Dude, let's go. And that's what you saw in that clip there. Let it sink down to about 20, 25 feet I was fishing. And then with that weight, pulling it down, it's not yanking the whole bait down, it's pulling your line down just to help get this down a little bit quicker to the bottom where those pike like to hang out in that 20, 25 feet of water. And as it got down there, then I just started popping it, twitching it, and that twitching motion with all of those ribs, those pike destroy it. So a couple different options there for bass and for pike. So that is that Geecrack Bellows Gill with that 8/0 owner beast hook, and that is a 3/8 ounce weight on the bottom. See how you guys like it. Let me know in the comments below your favorite way, if you fished a Bellows Gill before, your favorite way to rig it up, and what size and colorway is your favorite. I'm gonna try to get some more of these to try out. I love them so far. They are just such a unique bait that nobody is throwing around me. There are a few guys that have mentioned that they do enjoy throwing it, but your local guy who walks into the local Bass Pro is not going to be able to pick this up. So you will have an advantage putting something in front of these bass that they haven't seen before. So try it out. Love this bait. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, guys.